TRT World's Obaida Hito joins us now from Hatay in front of Cilvegözü border gate with Syria. So, Obaida, why is the Russian-backed regime offensive significant?
The Assad regime, since 2017, after wrapping up its operations against opposition forces and displacing those people to northern Syria, have made it clear that their intention is to regain or retake control of all Syrian territory. Idlib is the last opposition-held territory, with the exception of Turkey-backed opposition areas in Olive Branch and Euphrates Shield areas that the regime does not control. And for the regime to take this area, it's going to have to engage in a large-scale military operation. Last year, the de-escalation agreement was reached between Russia and Turkey to prevent a large-scale military operation on Idlib because of fears of the humanitarian crisis that would develop from a regime offensive. However, this year, in the last 10 days, we've seen that Russia and the regime are serious about conducting operations in Idlib province, regardless of any standing deals. This operation is focused now on southern Idlib province and northern Hama province, in towns and villages that go along the M4-M5 highway. The M4-M5 highway, they actually meet north of Mu'arrat al-Nu'man in Saraqib. Today we got reports that 2 people at least were killed in Mu'arrat al-Nu'man in aerial attacks, and we've seen the attacks over the last 10 days focus on places like Qal'at al-Madiq, Kafar al-Buda, and Khan Sheikhoun, which are all near these highways. The Assad regime last month was facing a fuel crisis, and opening and controlling this key highway will give the Assad regime access to markets all the way from Latakia, starting in Damascus to Latakia, going through Halab all the way to eastern Syria in Deir ez-Zor. And that's why this operation is extremely important for both the regime and Russia. Russia has its own interests also in protecting its own assets on the ground. The Hmeimim air base is just adjacent to the city of Qal'at al-Madiq, which the regime and Russia were able to take over in the last 48 hours, where the opposition has been launching attacks on the Hmeimim military air base. The Hmeimim military air base is where Russia conducts and commands all of its military operations in Syria. So as you can tell, the situation is very sensitive for both Russia and the regime, and they're taking the issue very seriously. The opposition has now launched a counter-offensive, and the fighting is still ongoing, even though the regime was able to take several towns and villages from the opposition. They have started a counter-offensive, and we're waiting to see what the result of that counter-offensive will be.
Well, thank you very much for that, Obaida Hito.